pulling up the chart. Staying on the last topic, though, this
Okay.
movement, how do you see it? How do you see it coming through in the world? You yourself, where are you? You're 2 hours back, I think, right? Sedona, you said.
Yes. Yes.
So you're out in Sedona. Where do you see this 7 to 9 centered movement? Because the old way is gripping, it still grips our language, like there's no tomorrow,
Oh yeah.
grips our phraseology, it grips how we teach. It's still there. It's so implanted, but I say the cracking of that ceiling is coming in the form of so many people know that they don't like it, even if they can't even name it. They just know. As
Yeah.
soon as so therefore, as soon as they see what's right, they'll gravitate towards it easily. You
Oh.
know. So how do you think we're doing, just as it relates to human movement? Because that's what we're in it for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Make the humans move, win, get it right. Wake everyone up. Let's live. We're not supposed to be here.
So I really think that right now, we as a collective are still very much in a mindset of limitation.
Mm,
And when we do take a look at the transits, Pluto is still in gate 60. We still have that shadow of limitation until January 30th, I believe, when Pluto goes into gate 41. So I feel like right now we very much are feeling this, like, it almost feels like putting 10 pounds of or 5 pounds of poop in a 10-pound bag, right? It's like
right.
something has to give. Oh my God, what do we do? And we're searching everywhere for it. And it feels very much like as Pluto moves into that gate 41, that it's like there's going to be like a snap. And that's how I feel it in my body. Like all of a sudden, we're going to be like, oh my God, we are so much more powerful than our limitations. Why don't
Mm,
we go experience what it is like to live instead of holding back because we are afraid? I feel like when we truly do sit into that nine-centeredness, we allow life to be the experience it wants to be. We
mm.
allow the abundance of spirit. We allow all of those things to actually come into our life because we know that everything is happening for us and not to us.
Absolutely. And with us, it's happening with us. We're in
Yes,
cooperation with
yes,
it big time. Yeah, we're with it. Hey, I'm with it,
yes.
baby. I'm with it. Yeah. Okay. So how do you think we're doing? I'm saying, I think we've reached, my own personal opinion, and I'll speak for, around here,
Hmm.
maybe 3.5 to 4.5% penetration of people knowing they know that something is, they want more. They know that it's there. Maybe even 5%. I say there's 5% of the men and women out there.
Hmm.
What do you think? That know that there's more. No, there is the right way, and we're missing something. They know it.
You
Meaning
know,
they're open for it. And it might even be 30% for all I know, but I'm going 5.
okay, I like your number, because it does feel like those that are ready are absolutely going to be elevating.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you do think about it, like how many billions of people are on the
Yeah.
planet, 5% is nothing to shake a stick at. Like it's a large amount of
That's a
people.
that's a lot. 1% gets the job done. So 5%,
Exactly.
yeah, is the
So
thing.
I agree. I think it's about 5%. And when I don't want anybody to like worry, am I part of it? Like if you're open to this type of experience, if you're watching, if you are,
Right.
you're going to be that
If
5%.
you're even thinking that question, you're already there, right?
Right?
Yeah.
100%. I love it. Yeah.
100, yeah, no doubt. So chart wise, moving on to out of the nine centered way. I
Yes,
love the
dear.
nine centered way. Yes, my
Mhm.
love. So I noticed we have some similarities in our chart. It's like kind of funny. Yeah. So I want to ask first, you have yours is in opposition to mine. You're up at the top. So we're going to
Yes,
go channels and just center
beautiful.
channel some chaosy fun stuff.
Let's do
Um
it.
so 6447. You have the same
Yes.
configuration I do. In fact, it's in your nodes. And I knew it
Mhm.
would be. There's consciousness and rulership in your nodes. It's so good. Um so my 64 is the one that's unconscious.
Oh,
So so whenever the unconscious 64 unconscious confusion would come in, it would freeze me in place because it was so heavy, because it's on, right? It's in a
Yeah.
channel.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I can remember just being struck with it's too much, too much. And then when I realized, oh, it's the unconscious gate it keeps showing up. That's why it's too
Mhm.
much. It's because I don't know it shows up.
Yeah.
And, but yours is reversed. You have a conscious 64 along with an unconscious, but the conscious helps you deal. So consciously, it's like, no, you can see the confusion from a mile away ish at times,
Mhm.
if you're looking, that is. Um, but then what to do with it? This oppressive nature that I
Mm.
don't know what gets more joy, a 47 realizing something, you know what I mean? Or any of the other gates,
Ooh.
right? Or a 51 leaping. I'm not sure what gets more joy, right?
Oh,
Because it's so the realizations you can sit in that and muse with that. Have you noticed this channel allows you to just daydream and go away and say, yeah, I'm busy, and not even realize what you just so much stuff goes through. There's no rule, rhyme, or reason to the
mhm.
film clips we can put together through this channel, and it's constantly happy to be
Yeah.
thinking way too much, according to everyone else. What do you think of that?
I lovingly joke that this channel is the bane of my existence.
Yeah, uh, I would agree.
Because for a very, very long time, I didn't enjoy the confusion because I felt like I needed control. And until I gave myself the permission to not know the answer and to allow myself to revel in the what ifs,
Hmm.
this channel would just agitate me. Now I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm open. I am open to receive whatever needs to be for me to move through this process. And I'm not
And
going to judge myself.
yeah,
I'm
and an
I'm just gonna,
acceptance
yeah,
comes
just
in,
I'm
right?
just
An
gonna be like,
acceptance.
okay, that's cool. So
So
that
your acceptance is, don't worry, I'll get it. I'll get it. My
I
acceptance is,
always do.
oh, I'm shockingly confused at the moment. Apparently I'm about to get smarter, is what I always tell myself. Oh, I'm about to get smarter. I don't know
I
where.
love it.
And then on the not self side, that's always still there. It's like, dude, don't you think you should be a little afraid? Don't, it's a little crazy. Maybe you should park or something, whatever. It's like,
Mhm.
no, probably not. Just stick with it. Cool. So you have totally gotten your version of people telling you think too much. In fact,
Yes.
that got you fired at the police academy over there.
Oh,
Police
you know it
academy.
did.
Yep. Oh, I just realized that now. That's funny.
Well, yeah, I actually the last like I did have one like kind of cush job at the police department. I worked at headquarters for a little bit.
Mm.
Literally, that I got dumped
Yeah,
because of
you think too much.
mhm,
You're
mhm.
thinking too much, and you're too nine centered. Just get the f out, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
That's funny. That's funny. You have universal love of things. We don't know about that lady. Um, so
Right?
that's just too
Can you
funny.
be nice to people? Talk to them like they're real humans? What?
Right. Right, exactly. So, anyways, that must have hurt, by the way. So that hurts. If you carry even one of if you carry any kind of nine-centered awareness, you carry one of the vessel gates, this universality, and
Mm,
not to mention you explained how conditioned it is.
yeah.
Conditioning's gorgeous. Don't you just love leaping into the fire? It's not your gig. But when it's right and the response says jump, it's extra. It's extra good. It's juicy. That's what
Oh,
my 25 does for me. It's juicy. It's like, oh, this is good. Hey, the woods are on fire and we're barely making it out. I'm like, wow, that was exciting. you know. Um,
yes, I 100% agree with you. Like there is definitely something there that is kind of exciting and fun.
yeah, absolutely. By the way, I married my mom and dad too. Um, so so moving down to which channel you want to do next? You pick. You got
Oh, the
two.
360. It's my fave.
Okay, so I got that gate 60 and I'm living with it all the time. It's third line. It's miserable. Um, it's all right. So this mutation that's making something new out of something old,
Mhm.
technically hanging on to some of the root, never jettisoning the roots of the old. but then the crazy stuckness and the flurry of confusion that is gate 3, right? So how have you lived this out? Gate, because it's conscious, so you're aware of it. You have to put your dang game face on with this thing. Not to mention, what was gate 3? It's got this amazing, by the way, you only have one of your gates with an introduction line, meaning a life process.
Oh,
In
okay.
your I noticed in your incarnation cross, all
Yeah.
the rest of them are just start straight up, boom, start straight up in the process.
Did
So
you
this,
enjoy my incarnation cross? Do you think it's funny? Because I
uh,
do.
yeah. No, I love your incarnation cross because I came to understand the laws when Ra told me, long ago. He said, "Dude, the law is generated.
Hmm.
The law is generated.
Yeah.
It's generator business. It's not super esoteric neither." I mean,
Hmm.
it can be, and it can be spiritual. It can be all these things when you get into the upper trigram. I'm sure all blah blah blah. It's great, but it's
Yeah.
really just practical, responsive stuff. Nine-centered, responsive communion
Yeah.
that will set the values and create the law and survive the tribe. Period,
Hmm.
and make sure them babies get good. We've got to have happy, healthy children that have good food, right?
Yes.
And healthy education. So I love what this says here. This is great. This immaturity that
Hmm.
do you know the line? This unrestrained acceptance of guidance.
Yes.
So you freak. I love it. So this has made you a freak sometimes. This whole mutation channel has, frankly.
Yeah. And for a very long time, that really bothered me.
Mm.
But now I embrace it because it's just who I am. And it's so much harder to lie to yourself and lie to
Yes,
other people than it is to just be who
be
you
yourself.
are. And again, I feel like the older I get, the more I'm just like, "Look, this is who I am. You can take it or leave it. It doesn't matter to me."
Yep.
So,
I noticed when we put our charts together, we make 9 and 0, and we have these two excellent compromises. Your 5 because I have the whole channel, and my 60 because you have the whole channel.
I love
Have,
that.
have you? So I want to move on to the next.
Yes.
Well, no, speak a little more about this 360. Speak a little more about what this has been in your life. This third gate that says, "I'm totally confused until ordering." Suddenly, what happens? Like like Bewitched did her nose, and suddenly,
Pretty much that's like literally how my move to Sedona went. I didn't know how I was going to get housing. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just had to trust the process. And it actually all worked out in the end. What I am embracing about the 360, especially because it's my conscious and unconscious sons, I live this every single day, is that it's okay not to know. It is okay to not be perfect right away. Gate 3, difficulty at the beginning.
yeah,
I can have a beginner's mindset and find joy and still be okay. It's okay that I don't have to be number 1 all the time. I don't have to be perfect. I can
right,
enjoy the messiness of the process of all of everything that I do, and it
mm,
doesn't make me a bad person.
right, right.
That's how I do it.
Moana has that 3 in the fourth line, and she's 4-1 fixed fate there, and
Mm.
so she is the cross of mutation.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. It's like I love how the fourth lines give it their name. And then what was 50? Actually, for your son, we won't go to that yet. So you've been stuck in your limitation. Mine's unconscious as well. Gate
Mhm.
60 says I'm limited. I'm stuck.
Yeah.
They both say I'm stuck. One says
Mhm.
I'm stuck and I need to get out of here. That's the generated gate, more so. And 60 just says I'm stuck. Do me, flush me down the toilet already. I'm sick of being stuck. Um, and it's unconscious, so it would show up in your life. It would just show up. And I'm guessing of all the gates that would lead to an incredible depression, it would be this channel. So these
Yes.
depression times, you go back in your life and you look at those down times, you read this into it along with shadow work and stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a game changer when you can accept that.
Yeah.
It really is. I don't often get depressed or melancholy, and when I do, I embrace it now and don't think that I'm a terrible person because there's something there for me, whether I know it or not. So it's really about accepting all of the bits of the 360, whether they be positive or negative, or, like, yeah, I want it all. I want to experience it all.
Well, you have these 6 gates of melancholy on your body graph. There's plenty to work with.
I know, right?
Yeah. So,
Ask
I
and I
mean,
shall receive.
so last channel, being driven. I love
Yes.
you guys. This being driven, it's sheer instinct, by the way. If I ask you to like totally describe it all in a moment, sometimes you will, but mostly it's all just there by instinct. It's that part of that instinctual awareness, stream that we have. And it's unconscious, right? So, did you know you were driven? Did you doubt it? Did it seem like I am driven? Maybe I'm not that good because of that open ego. Did you get some of that trip going on?
Oh, yeah. Like, welcome to my teens and 20s.
Right, right.
Yeah. Um,
But
yeah, I think,
now it shows up as like I'm doing the thing and I'm driven to do the thing. Oh, I can handle my pressure. Oh, the pressure comes out evenly.
yeah,
I get,
yeah.
I'm a
Oh
little
my, yeah.
scared of failure, but no, it stopped. It stopped. It stopped. I'm back. Right. That's how that goes.
That is like, I'm like, I was trying to find the words to describe it. I'm like, but yeah, that is like chef's kiss. Perfect. The way you
Thank you.
described it. Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh,
So you live that, but mostly this drive
mhm.
is something that is now sustaining in you.
Oh yeah.
What is that like? Give me the cycle of this drive thing. I mean, you're a generator, so
Yeah.
technically it's
Mhm.
just always on in that one sense, but sustains, but nothing sustains permanently. So does this thing have a cycle, or is it just sort of go to sleep at night?
If I am working on something that I truly believe and am passionate about,
Mhm.
that drive can sustain me for months.
Months. Okay. Yep.
But when you make me do something I don't want to do, I'm like, no, no, I
Good
have no
generator.
desire.
Good generator. Good generator. That's what I say to all my new clients too. As soon as they get a thing, I'm like, good generator. And they always find that good.
Yeah.
So this tribal channel being driven, just to sort of put a finesse on it for people like to, hear that the whole thing. So 32 says continuity. I got an eye out for what's going to fail, what's not going to fail, what's
Mhm.
conservative, what needs to look at how conservative we don't need to be. It's 32 will never be accused of being not conservative. All it can
Mhm.
do is regulate. Well, then we'll be less conservative at this time. That's its version of going out on a limb. I would say, you tell me, does that sound right?
Yes,
Okay.
100%.
And 54 is just
Mm,
it's I find all these 3 gates on this side can keynote all of each other all together at times.
mhm.
So there's an absolute straight up joy in the passion that will come out of 54 to rise up, even though you don't have a gate 58. And the
Yeah.
struggle is like, I'm struggling to rise up. I'm moving the thing. This is not the right path for me, is 54's energy, or this
Mhm.
is. And it's not a knowing, a mental thing, obviously. It's a chemistry and a response in you.
Yeah.
We pure generators, some pure generator too, manifesting generator. Um,
Mhm.
it's so scary, I think, you know, so in certain ways, but staying on channels is to finish the 5432. This drivenness, if you've got this channel in your body graph, allow it to drive you to do the thing that will basically push you into some kind of career and movement towards things that help lead your material way.
Yeah,
Is that
and I completely agree with you, and I have noticed the more I allow this unconscious channel to move me, it's absolutely moving me in the right direction. When I don't resist it, it always takes me exactly where I need to go.
and this is where, because 54 holds the alpha and the omega in line 4,
Mhm,
it's the one thing that is new as it relates to the I Ching. And it's a very strong spiritual path. So even though this on its surface, if you're talking to old man 5432 at the gas station, he's speaking in a material voice, right?
mhm. Yeah,
But as soon as you awaken to your design and you see how it drives you, now you speak with your spiritual voice, yet driven. And it's because it is still spirit, right?
mhm.
in my opinion. So it's all spirit. 55 leads the day, the spirit. We need to have our spirit feel full.
Yeah.
Um, so cool. What do you want to move on to next? You got a favorite? Because I noticed something cool in your variables. It's wicked technically geeky.
Uh,
If you want,
I'm down for your technical geekiness.
yay. So, pick my brain, you said. Is that something you figured to say, or did that just come out when you said, oh, because Moana was asking, do you want me to stay on or not? And you realized quickly, oh, no, 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 stay, pick my brain. And I was like, the open throat spoke, did that words pick my brain? Did you just, that just come
They
out, or
just
have
came
you?
out of my head. They just came out of my mouth.
Well, think about what rightness is. So you've looked a little bit into rightness and leftness by now,
Mhm.
or a lot. You've looked probably a lot into it for all I know. That rightness is just there to be pulled from. It's a mystical place. It doesn't know anything. It's like, I see I'm here. I don't know. And then someone asks something of it. This is the
Mhm.
brain. Pick my brain. As soon as you said that, I'm like, oh, this girl is awake to her stuff, man. What, and accidentally, because you're a second line, you don't even know what you know if you really know. It's like
Yeah.
it just shows up. Um, so anyways, this variable, see, the thing is, this is a challenge, and one of two things was going to happen. The
Mhm.
3 or 4 or 5 or 6% that would get this wake up to it, and the rest suffer from it until they finally wake up to it, and we'll help them. But it's in the changing zone. Have you looked at the 16 grid variable grid?
I have.
It's so sexy when you stare into it for a couple hours. When that happens one day, it'll finally happen one day if you haven't done it yet. And suddenly you'll see patterns showing up, and you see the changing grid. It's the
Mm.
center square,
Yeah.
whereby all the other variables, the other 12, would circle all the way around the outside. And
Mhm.
so you're into that changing zone that moves us towards either the mutation or towards where humanity's path is, to go run concurrent with the mutation. And
Yeah.
it's a difficult place because the right facing brain says, I got all the details. I studied, I did all the stuff. And the left facing strategic personality that wants to roll up its sleeves and make something work with all of that. If it demands the brain to strategically like recall all the data that it's right, that the leftness of the personality is trying to put through, it will
Yeah.
torture the being. It will
Mhm.
torture the man or woman carrying this thing.
Yeah.
And that's just the dependent variable. I'll move down to the independent variable in a minute, the
Mhm.
nodes. But with these two things facing each other, look at it like the potential is to have a little furly brow that goes mer. If you just look at it, just point them down a little bit, and it would make an emoji. Those two
Mhm.
pointing at each other. That's a not self strong, conditioned, seven centered old way potential to
Yeah.
show up in any old kind of way when you see these two things pointing at each other. And but I just noticed you're like, my brain, it does stuff. And my personality likes strategically waiting for that to happen.
Yeah.
Sort
It
of, somehow. That
it
seems to
is
be where
a
you're at now.
yeah. I remember reading about this and like Ra was like,
Right.
sorry, this is gonna
Yeah.
suck. And I'm like, of course. It's
Right,
great.
right, right.
Thanks. Thanks, bro. Thanks.
Thanks, bro. You did me a solid, buddy.
Yeah, you just gotta embrace it. Like,
So now the other two are the opposite, obviously.
yeah.
This is why it's in the changing zone. It's all mixed up. Anyways, it's really a mixture. But so this view is right, ergo, focus in on. So when you were in Chicago, I think that's where you said you were, focus on this, focus on that, focus on this, and all you could
Yes.
see was everything else around it. And if you were awakening to yourself in any old kind of way, then everything around it would be like, this doesn't seem congruent with our nine-centered movement. It doesn't seem congruent with where our genome really is making us go. You know, would like us to go so that we can all be happy. Did that Does that sound right? Because you would have seen all around it. You couldn't focus in on the one thing. Just focusing on one thing.
Oh
This
no.
do it this way. What's one thing? No, can't do. The peripheral view sees everything else, and it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I see that too, and that too. And then to focus on one thing becomes murder. It
Oh yeah.
becomes murder. Yeah. So
It
here's your strategic brain, personality that says, I'll follow the balls on the guy who's about to con you out of $5 on the street, right? With the 3 cups in the ball. And the blurry vision of the periphery of you is like, I think I followed. I didn't follow it. Just take my $5. Does that sound right?
oh
Even
my
though,
god. I feel like you may have lived with me in
oh,
Chicago.
no, we're all one, hon. We're all one. I was there. And not to mention, you and I were cracking, however this works. I don't know how this works. I'm a second line like you are. What do I know? But you and I were cracking the consciousness field.
Yeah.
There's no reason in the world that that spooky action afar that Einstein noticed wasn't happening with us. Boom, one at the same time, right? You take two atoms, you split it
Yeah.
apart, whatever the thing is, and you tickle one over on one end, and the other one moves the same way. That's a light year away. Yeah. So that was us. We didn't know. Cheers.
Na zdrowie.
Hmm. Yep. No, you're in Sedona, and that's good. So that's what, and then this, you being the one who's observed. This is almost like a torture for you because your natural state is quit looking at me.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Oh my god, yes.
Yes.
I'm like, could people just stop?
Just quit looking at me. Right. And there you are. By the way, people see the strategic. Wherever the strategic is what they see. Oh, this gal's got her viewpoint all straight together, meaning your head on straight because they see that strategic personality. You know,
Mhm.
they see that movement. Oh, this gal's gonna move good in the world. Let's get her moving. You know what I mean? So come on, move, soldier. You know, sure
Yeah.
thing, sure thing, Captain. You know that's you.
Thank
Bye, Maureen.
you.
Bye, thank you.
So, everyone, I hope that you were enlightened and entertained and wowed by the amazingness that is Maureen on today's show. So, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your gifts with us.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have to go outside and ground because I am like so like full of like zzz right now. And just thank you so much for this beautiful, beautiful opportunity to speak to you guys. Like my cheeks hurt. I'm smiling so much, my cheeks hurt. So
Oh, that's like the nicest thing a guest could tell us. Like a lot of love goes into every episode, so it would be nothing without the guest's
mm,
vibrance. So you brought your A game and
thank
it
you.
showed.
Thank you so much. Y'all are just thank you.
So go ground, do the
I
things,
will.
and I will bid Maureen adieu. So, as per usual, if you're watching us live, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And if you're watching us on the replay, we love you so much. And of course, thank you for watching, sharing, subscribing. And we wouldn't be doing this without your eyeballs. So keep them coming. And we love you. Have a wonderful night and take care.